Alright, everybody, this is Fallout What If You're In. Today, like I said before, I wanted to make a different one. And I know I'm going to make on next one. I feel like I'm going to try to probably make what if Goku was something. I don't really, what if Goku was something? I don't really know what, actually. But you know what? You guys comment down. But don't give me like, what if he can bend time or something like that. Give me something, probably what if. I don't really know, actually, because I don't know what to pick. Because if I pick something from another story, or like from another story, like what if Goku had Bell's powers, or what if Goku was the Flash, or something like that. I don't really know, actually. I feel like just giving him something like, what if Raditz never died, or probably what if Goku met his father, or something like that. You know, something that's mostly lore based to freaking Dragon Ball. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, anyway, this is what if Deku was the Flash part 1 or part 0. Let's say part 0. I always like putting part 0 first. And ooh, what if Deku was in Black Ops? What the heck? I always thought, like, I was actually going to try to put what if Deku was trained by people in Black Ops. But you know what? Actually, this might be good. I don't really know. And you know what? You guys see it right now. It's called Kishin Uchiha. So, yeah, go to his channel. I actually subscribe to him, and I'm wondering what this is about. I never actually saw this one to part 3. So, yeah, go check. Alright, his name is Kishin Uchiha. You know what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So you saw what his name was. Like I said, Kishin Uchiha. But anyway, this part was 0 to what if Deku was the Flash. And you know what? Whoever made this art, this is right here, his logo, and I don't know what it is, actually. So, yeah. Anyway. Perfect. So, how this is going to work. There's not going to be, like, Flash lore behind this. It's basically not even a quirk. It's kind of a little of, like, Flash-based lore and freaking, yeah, it's pretty much, it's part, like, it's probably 5% Flash-based, the lore, technically, because there's so much lore to this freaking show, or this freaking, comic, I forgot. There's so much lore to the Flash thing, and to be honest, I don't know a lot of it, so I don't want you guys probably saying, oh, that's not how it is. Well, you know, Barry Allen was the first one, or he's probably like the second to do this. No, none of that. I don't know any of this. So, yeah. But anyway, what's going to happen is there's a company who is making the accelerator processor, which I think in the freaking Flash show, I mean the one on CW, I don't really know what it was about, but it's not the particle acceleration, it's let's just say it has something, and it has accelerator mechanism, which can speed stuff up to 1,000 times. And Deku, or not Deku, and this whole thing is technically not meant for, like, you know, for humans and all that stuff, because they've tried it already on a person, but sorry for cutting out. My phone was kind of messy. So anyway, they try to use it on humans, but it didn't actually work. It technically like destroyed a part of them. Let's say this person had like a regular, probably his feet can stick onto walls or stick to stuff. And the particle accelerator, when used on the human to see if they can speed up something, yeah, his body was destroyed. He's basically in a long-induced coma. But anyway, this isn't like one where somebody, like, how do I say it? This isn't something that somebody has to be inside of. This is actually something that people can be blasted from. So they're behind something with bulletproof glass. And basically they just blast it onto an object, and you can probably blast it onto let's say some soil, an apple seed, and water inside of it, and some fertilizer, and they can technically make a big tree, an apple tree, and 100% works. All right, nothing's wrong with it. It's all natural. It's basically electricity going through the systems of all the plants and making it grow more. So it's something to actually help with food. And Deku is still quirkless. This is around the time he's 4 still. And no, he's not going to be hit by that number. He's not going to become Flash at the age of 4. He's actually going to become the Flash, or the Kid Flash, at the age of 8. But he's met a few friends. He has a few friends, and one of them, I don't really know who to be, but let's say it's ain't this something here? Let's say that the Ingeniums, the Ingenium family, like, took Ida to a different school, because Ida is mostly, and she's gonna be a female for this one. So yeah, and you probably knew this was going to happen, you know, female Ida. And the Ingeniums funding this place because it's kind of like something that they would probably do to help the world. And Tenko Ida, or I forgot the big brother of Ida, he funded this project so that way people could, how do I say this? So that way people could have like much more food and can give to like people in Africa or in Iran or different countries that don't have a lot of like vegetation, like people in the desert or something like that, or people in hotter climates, or let's say some like nations in Antarctica, because it's 100 years or probably 200 years into the future. So yeah, they would probably have some people in Antarctica. So yeah, that's the food that they're giving it to. So that way things can happen and trees can be chopped up into wood for fires and all that. So they're conserving and they're using a lot of things. Anyway, Ida is friends with Deku because he's the only one. Because Deku is basically the only one who isn't like doing anything bad. Like, sometimes the kids are talking too much, and they're still kids, but Ida's like, you guys should stop doing all this talking. Alright, this is not what you came here to school for. So you can learn, and so that way your mommies and daddies can, you know, be proud of you. And Deku's all like, yeah. He's all like, Oh yeah, something like that. He's just like happy. Even though he's quirkless, he's still like the happy child. But he is still depressed due to the fact that people bully him and people don't like look at him with anything. And this is when, let's say, this is during the time when Ida has this like stick up his rear end, because Ida was like unbearable from time to time in the beginning. Like during like the freaking during the test, Ida was like somebody people would want to punch in the head. But nonetheless, Ida is friends with Deku, and she thinks that he's alright. Even though he doesn't have a quirk, he still listens. He doesn't do anything bad. He gets fairly good grades. He gets sometimes B's and sometimes A's. So, you know what? She kind of respects him for that. But she knows he's quirkless. She feels bad for him because, well, Ida knows that Deku has been bullied, and she helps out from time to time just by, with the shake of her karate chop hand. And Deku sometimes like telling Bakugo and the others not to do anything mean to Ida. She's just trying to help in her own way. And these two kind of like become like good friends. And she feels bad for him still. So they're in probably, let's say, the 3rd grade. This is when you're probably 8 years old. Or I don't really remember. I think I was like, I was probably 8, 3rd grade. So yeah, this is what happens. Ida tells Tenko, or his brother, I don't know if I'm screwing up his name or it's not his name, something like that. He is telling she's telling his brother that the kids in what's called in her class should probably go on a field trip and learn about this kind of stuff. And she also gives her explanation why, because of this certain boy, and she explains a little bit more. And Tenko is kind of sad for this kid, and he's thinking, yeah, why not? There's nothing wrong with this. And the rest of the kid, and he tells the his staff, because this is kind of like his building, and David Shield also funded this and his technology as well, because he also wanted to have the betterment of the world as well, or help out the world. So yeah, a lot of like this stuff is basically, how do I say this? This is like David Shield and like the Ingenium Corporation, or not even corporation. This is basically them like helping out the world by making stuff. And this is like the public can like go in there as well. There's an exhibit. So next day, well, not next day, let's say 2 days in preparation, then probably let's say on a Friday, because everything was better on a Friday in my school. It's like, oh man, you get pizza. And also that if you go to a field trip, this is the last day of the school year, school time. Or this is the last school day. Not only that, you go on and you wake up on Saturday and be like, I had a good time last night. I felt like $1 million. That's what I felt. But anyway, so Friday they are all going to a field trip. They get there, and Midoriya feels happy because not only is this a field trip, he gets to meet Ingenium, because Ida told him like, I got I told my brother to help you out, and she explains that her brother is actually in Genium, which Izuku was about to say like, wait a minute, you're no. She grabs him by the mouth like, no, you don't talk. No more talking for you, all right? I know you're happy. I know this is your big day for you. This is a big day for you, but you know what? Just zip it for a minute, you know? Let's not say it. Let's not say that name around. Everybody's gonna treat me much more different because technically nobody knows that her name is just Ida. Nobody knows that her name is like, means anything. Because nobody knows like Ingenium's they know the Ingenium family, but she only just says, my name is Ida. Let's keep it at that, people, you know? She doesn't want to be known for her family, even though she carries that name with pride. Moving on. So, oh, hold on here. Give me a second. Hey, look it up. Look, gamer. Games gamer. That's your name. You need to work on this, people. Anyway, but thank you. All right, you know what? Thank you. So, where was I? Okay, moving on. Let's just skip to where they're inside the exhibit, because there's also like exhibit. There's an exhibit. There's also like at the back, at the very back, where they like do all the stuff to do all the sciencey stuff. And not only that, Deku and Ida are right there, and Ingenium is somewhere else in the building. Let's just say he's in the toilet doing whatever he has to do, finishing up his job. But they're going to explore. Well, technically, all the kids and the teachers, 2 teachers, are being escorted to like each part of the exhibit, because this is a big place. All right, this is a big place. Nobody watches all this stuff except for except for well, I don't know what I was gonna say. But yeah, they show them around the exhibits, like probably 2 times. And while that's happening, let's say a group of villains, and not only villains, mercenaries, they go in and they start storming the place, and all the heroes aren't there. You know why? Because one of the guys in the freaking you know, the people in the My Hero, like in the My Hero thing, where they couldn't like, how do I say that? They couldn't call anybody and their signal was all gone. Yeah, that's what happened. That the same dude's there and he escapes. So with the jamming quirk. So anyway, that happens, and Deku is there looking at what's happening, but Ida grabs him, and Bakugo is there too, and all of them are like under a table. A lot of the kids like are right there as well, under tables, hiding, and some of them are like still freaking out, and the teacher are kind of scared. They don't know what's going to happen. These kids aren't all quiet. Not only that, Ingenium is nowhere to be seen, and he's not in the toilet. He's somewhere else apart in the building, like doing stuff. But because they're not actually like seeing anything, and all the signals are jammed, he doesn't know what's happening as well. He's actually pretty much all of them in one part of the building, which nobody can actually hear because it's sealed up, or like it's not airtight, but not a lot of sound can go through there because nobody wants to like hear about like their plans, because they don't want villains to actually know about anything. But that's actually what leads to their downfall in a way. So Ida and Izuku is there, and they found like a wrench. And Ida says she's going to like protect both of them, and because she thinks it's kind of like her fault that they're in this mess. Because if they weren't there, the adults and the supervisors and all that, yeah, they wouldn't probably be in this mess at this time. Because she wanted Deku to feel happy. And I understand what you guys are probably saying. Well, wait a minute, how come she went to that school and not anywhere else where her brains were? Because Ida was like this as a child. She was always like the one to enforce rules. And she was still like that in her other schools, so they took to her private schools, so she just took her to the Ingeniums just took her to a what's it called? To a public school. And yeah, that's what Deku goes to as well. So anyway, yeah, that's why just giving you guys an explanation. But Deku tells her that even though you took us here, you made me pretty much happy. I understand that there's a chance that bad things will happen to us, but I'm going to help protect you this time, because most of the times he was protected by Ida, and said she had a quirk. She was mostly as well respected because she was smart as well. She has a quirk that looks kind of cool with her engines, and nobody knows this whole like Ingenium situation. But Ingenium now is like in the other like part of the building is wondering what's happening, and some of the villains got into the freaking place where Ida and Deku's at, and some are fighting the freaking are fighting Ingenium, and they're trying to call the freaking police, but no one's there. No one's answering. Well, technically no one can answer. And this is when Ida is worried about his sister. But Jess, if you don't understand, he's going to be a sister. That's the love interest. I thought of this for quite a while. Well, I didn't think of this. I just started right now. So yeah, Ida's the love interest, and Deku is kind of scared, but he knows he has to put on a brave face because his his hero is still All Might. And Ida is right there kind of scared as well. But she knows that they're probably going to be alright because her brother still is in the building. She knows this already, because she already talked to Ingenium beforehand and say if he was going to be there, and he said yes, because she pulled some, well, basically she just said, can you give an autograph and talk to this certain person, which was Deku. But anyway, enough of that part. So Deku and Ida are right there, and all the kids are being rounded up, and Ida is right there hiding still, and Deku is right behind her. But somebody grabs Ida and says, oh well, look at you, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Well, it's another brat. But Deku is right there, and he hits freaking Ida. Not Ida, he hits freaking the villain's leg with the freaking what's it called? With the wrench. If I said crowbar or anything like that, no, it's a wrench. But it's one of like those kind of big wrenches where you have to hold, where he would probably have to hold with two hands. And this guy's, and he hits him straight in the freaking shin, which hurts a lot. And I mean a lot, a lot. So, this dude is kneeling down, and he grabs Ida and like pulls him out of there. And he's not worrying about the kid right now. He's worrying about his leg because he hit with full force, and he thinks he probably broke something. So Ida is there, and freaking Bakugo's already been took him, but he kind of got knocked out due to the fact that because he was kind of like fighting, not fighting, but he was like talking crap, even though he was super scared. And yeah, they just grabbed him and just punched him in the gut, and yeah, he's pretty much knocked out. So yeah. Anyway, Deku is right there, and he pulled him out. He pulls Ida out, and somebody shoots Deku in the freaking stomach. Yeah, this is not like, these are still villains. You guys thought that these people weren't gonna be, well no, a mercenary shoots him in the stomach. Forgot, there's mercenaries and villains, so some of them are quirkless, but you know, if you have a gun on you, I think you could probably do something. At least, you know, kill something. Not too hard to do. But anyway, Deku is shot, and all the kids are crying. Most of them are crying. But there's a dude with, let's say, a rope quirk, and he's tying each and every one of them up. And all of them are now looking in terror. Somebody just shot a student. But Deku is right there, still like in pain. And Ida's right there looking at her. Looking at him. Which she runs towards the dude and tries to reciprocal burst him. Which she can also do. But nobody knows that this is still Ingenium's daughter, or this is Ingenium's sister. And, or Ingenium, or this, nobody thinks this is nobody knows that she's an Ingenium. But she tries to reciprocal burst him, but she grabs him. But no, he grabs her, and he just swings and throws her onto one of the tables, and she's in pain, and she's kind of she's crying, but she knows that Deku is right there, he got shot, and Deku gets back up, which you guys probably think there's no way that he can get back up. He's only 8, but when you have a lot of like adrenaline pumping through your veins, getting shot is nothing. Like, I'm serious right there. Getting shot is pretty much nothing if you have like if you get shot and you have adrenaline, you're gonna get back up. All right, that's all I'm saying. So he gets back up, and Ida sees this, and she's crying and telling him to get back down. And she's calling him an idiot for like trying to like do everything. But she's like looking at Deku, and he's kind of unconscious, which she sees, and he's smiling as well. He's smiling, and he's unconscious because he knows that All Might wouldn't do this. He would get back up, and he would smile. And she looks at him, and she's crying. Not because he's mostly because he's unconscious, and he's still fighting. And she's crying because she feels all this pain. She can't get back up. But Deku's unconscious and smiling, and he has his dukes, or okay, my bad, his fist raised up. He's like doing some kind of boxing position, and well, the villains are like, "Oh, look at that! The dwarf's unconscious." And look at that, he wanted to fight. But he's asleep right now. What shall I ever do? And the guy with the freaking crowbar, or no, the guy who got hit with the freaking wrench, he grabs it, and it's, you guys thought it was short for Deku? No, but it was just enough because he has to carry it like a sledgehammer, because this thing's much more bigger than him. But with enough force, he just, did all that. And Deku is still unconscious and still smiling. And he's probably going to die. That's what everybody's thinking right now. Well, the teachers and all that. But Ida thinks that there's no way that he can die. He shouldn't. He's a kid. She thinks it's kind of like her fault. Why did she have to get help him? Like, why does he have to die? Or she thinks it's kind of unfair right now. And the dude with a lot, let's say with 100 pounds of force mixed in with pure titanium, he swings it at Deku, and all you hear is crunching. And Deku hits the machine, which, yes, they were in the place where the accelerator was at, because this dude is already mad. He doesn't care if it's a kid. He was one of the mercenaries. And if you, like I said before, if you make them mad, or I don't think I said that, but if you make them mad, they will kill you. They don't care how old you are. You make them mad, and it's game over for you, my friend. So he hits him, and he swings it at him, and, well, not the particle accelerator, the freaking wrench, and he flies. And the particle accelerator, like I said before, it's a blasting thing, but there's a sharp point in the freaking end of it, which is like a foot deep, which stores in all the energy to one single point and hits it there. Because let's just say if it was like a radius thing, then it could probably get everywhere, and it could probably like destroy some of the walls. And that's why they made it into one singularity, to one point, inside one point, which was a large like spike. Deku's impaled by it. And not only that, he's hit by full force that the machine flies. Because this isn't like some freaking, this isn't a freaking how do I say it? This isn't some like machine where it takes like, where everybody has to like pick it up, or you need some special equipment for this. No, it's something that could like 3 people can carry this thing, or 4 people. Because I don't know. But anyway, he hits it. And not only that, the guy, grabs a shelf full of chemicals, and he throws it. Well, he doesn't throw it. He slams it next by Deku, because Deku is next by the by the freaking accelerator, and right there is a wall full of chemicals. But you guys probably know where I'm going with this. He throws it at him, or he knocks over the freaking shelf. It's a shelf, alright? And it slams all into Deku. And all you see from there is a bunch of chemicals spilling out on top of Deku, and a thick red liquid, which all the teachers, some probably students, they all know it's blood. And Ida is right there, horrified. She just saw somebody who she liked. You know, she had like a little crush on him. She saw him, and all she knew that this kid was friendly towards her. Nobody actually, he wasn't ever annoyed by Ida, which most of the what ifs I do, Ida is like somebody who the character which Deku bashes or beats up, and I think probably 1 or 2 what ifs he's friendly with him. So this one is a lot of interest. So for all the Ida fans, I got you right there, my friend. But anyway, Ida sees somebody she can consider to be a best friend just dead. She is looking and crying. The pain is too much for her, but she still is standing up and trying and running to the freaking Deku. And all the villains are looking at this, and one of the staff members freaking said, "Hey, you shouldn't have done that. This kid didn't do nothing. He just tried to protect us." And one of the mercenaries just shoots him in the stomach. Let's just say in the arm, and just tells him to pipe down before this one goes through your head. Hold on. You better pipe down before this goes through your head. Or not through your head, through your skull. And the dude is in pain, and he's just right there, not wanting to talk because he's scared too. All the people are scared because this is like, these are mercenaries and these are villains. One of the 2 factions that nobody would ever want working together. Ida's right there, picking up the shelf. And this isn't like a huge shelf. This is something just strong enough so that way a lot of chemicals can be on there. She picks it up, and it takes probably... you need a little bit of force for this one. Well, she's putting a lot of effort into this. She picks it up and drags it away from Deku. And Deku is right there. And he's lifeless right there. Only a bit is still left in Deku. And you know what? I thought of this already. I know that you guys are probably going to say, "What the heck, Ivan? No, hold on. I forgot what I was going to say. Ivan, why did I say Ivan? No, I've been. I don't really know what I just said. I was trying to say I've been, but Ivan. I-V-A-N. Ivan. Anyway, I've been thinking through this as well. Yeah, okay, that's what I was trying to say. Never mind. I've been actually thinking about how to make this much more weirder and much more much more, how you say it, much more epic for Deku. And Deku is having negative emotions right now. His mind is thinking to himself, why did it have to be me? Why did the heroes not come? Why was I the only one who was injured? But he knows deep down inside that he's also knowing that he was the one who did it. But why was there villains?
why now? I wanted to meet a hero. Well, I was going to meet somebody. Ida's brother, or Mr. Ingenium, or whatever his name is. And I didn't get to meet him at all. I wish I had power. If I had a quirk, maybe I could have stood even more of a chance. If I wasn't quirkless, I would have probably maybe even defeated them. If I wasn't quirkless, maybe there could have been some hope. If I was quirkless, I wouldn't be in this pathetic position right now. A lot of dark emotions are festering in him. But the chemicals got right there. And you know what? I'm gonna put some lore into this right here. Which people say that Zeus threw a lightning bolt at the Flash, and the particle, and some people say the particle accelerator was also the case. But I'm gonna actually fuse these two together. There's a person. Well, never mind. Zeus is right there, and he's looking at this young boy. And he sees that he's dying. He's close to death by an inch. And Zeus thought, he stood up first. He fought some of these, well, pests. That's what he calls bad guys. He calls them pests. You know, this is Zeus. He's a god. Technically, anything below him is a pest. But he sees that this young boy has courage. He sees that he was the only one out of the two, which was Bakugo and Ida, out of those two, who kept standing up. And he saw as well him being unconscious, which he thinks is kind of something not a lot of people can say they can do. But he knows that somebody like this, even though they're unconscious, has probably a righteous soul, which Deku technically does have in a way. But he's also having dark emotions right now. In his mind, he hates everything and everyone. Nobody tried to help besides Ida, and nobody else tried to fight besides Bakugo. These were the only three people that tried to at least put some effort into something. Which I understand. I think Deku was knocked out for a minute, and he did wake up. But let's just say he does know, because Ida was right there. So probably she did something, and that's what led her to this. But he doesn't know. But anyway, I'm just saying. He's just hating everything. Everyone. And he's mad at the fact no heroes are trying to help out. Which this is a hero Deku. I don't know anti-hero, I don't know villain, but I know he's gonna have all three as well. I know he's going to have all three, but he's not going to be a villain because he kills heroes. He's going to be a villain for different reasons. But anyway, Deku is right there, and he feels slowly but surely his death coming to him. And he thinks, maybe it's the end of me. Maybe I should have died before. But he wants only one thing. He wants the power to have killed all those. He wanted the power to kill all those people in a flash. So that way he would have been fast enough to at least do anything. Because he knew that bullets were... most of the people right there couldn't handle, like, bullets. If he was faster than them, he probably would have even protected all of them. Or protected all the kids and all that.
but he was just too slow and he was too weak and he couldn't do a thing. And that's when he just closes his eyes. And Zeus is right there, knowing the fact that he has only but a minute to even do anything. So, Zeus grabs his most powerfulest attack, which makes him which turns him to become which gives a person life, and also gives him special properties of super speed and strength, which he's not going to be like Superman or anything like that. He's going to be the Flash, but he's not going to be a weakling at all. So, Zeus says, there's no time to make a contract, but you shall be my champion. Go out and destroy evil. And become something. Well, I don't know what he's trying to say, but he knows that he wants him to be his champion. Somebody who was brave enough to do anything and fought back, even though he was a child and they were stronger than him. Anybody like that, people would call foolish, but in his Zeus's eyes, he would have called brave and honorable. Nobody has done that ever since All Might, and even then, he was most of the time cowardice as well. But Deku, he was somebody who did all that. He was strong. He was strong-willed to get back up, and he was fearless, even though he had fear. There's a big difference between courage and fearless. Deku was both fearless and encouraged, and Deku had fear and courage, which he kind of had both in the very end. He had courage to stand and hit that dude in the leg, and then he became fearless when he fought and he got shot. So that's what he knows is a true meaning of a warrior and a man who could be his champion, which Hercules is kind of like his champion, but he's a god now. And I understand some of you guys probably think, oh, he's not a god, he already died and all that. I really forgot, but yeah, he's a god to him. Well, I think he's a god, but Deku is now going to be the champion of Zeus. And in an instance, lightning goes down, breaks the roof. Not the whole roof, because then everybody would have probably died. But it shoots into freaking Deku. Not only that, the particle accelerator, with the chain reaction of the chemicals, shoots back into Deku as well. Because now Deku is a part of the conduit, or connected to the freaking particle accelerator. And it's basically channeling through Deku. So, Deku now has super speed from both Zeus and the particle accelerator. Deku, in an instance, is vibrating out of control. The freaking particle accelerator shot and then wow. Oh, hold on. It more went like a sound or a swim, due to the fact it being in one single point. The crack-a-kapoom was from Zeus, and it made a roar through the heavens itself, crashing. And the lightning mixed with the simultaneously the electricity from the particle accelerator and the lightning from Zeus clashes, but yet goes within one another. So basically performs this kind of unison of electricity going through Deku. Deku is now feeling all this, and everybody is scared Ida is even more terrified because she got out of there in an instant because one of the villains grabbed her and pulled onto her. And like I said, this is all happening in a minute. So yeah, that's what happens. Deku is what's called shot, well, has lightning inside of him. And oh, she's low memory. Now, okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Deku is now thinking a million thoughts in 1 second. He is now what's called fully recharged. And not only that, he is fully healed. Due to the super healing from 2 powers from particle accelerator or the accelerator machine or whatever you want to call it, and freaking Zeus's lightning, both had super healing factors, which now combined together, Deku can actually survive bullets now, and even All Might's punch, since he has super strength. And you know what? I'm not gonna leave it off here, but I think I have enough time if I do this. Now, Deku is being electrified. And freaking, I got all this stuff from iFunny, so you know I understand if you guys think that this is weird. Why do I have all these pictures? But anyway, Deku is awake, and he sees this all for a second, which you guys already saw. Anyway, Deku is now back up. Deku's awake, and he sees all this, like, he sees Ida crying, and he now like looks at her clearly because now he has super good vision. His vision is super powerful, and Ingenium is still there, and he's fighting all the villains because they didn't just bring like 6 or 7. No, they brought like up to 50 people, which you guys might think, well, wait a minute, but this is like a little exhibit. No. I thought it was probably going to be a little exhibit, but then I thought to myself, nah, they're not going to have just a little tiny exhibit. No, they're going to have like a big one. But anyway, Deku is up, and Deku is mad. And Ida is hurt, and she sees basically what Deku's eyes look like. Instead of green like they always were, his eyes are now yellow. And electricity's coming through it. And she looks at him now, and she sees that his body is now much more, a little more muscular for an 8-year-old. And she sees the electricity clashing around him. Not only that, his face is looking much more menacing, much more angrier. She never seen this kind of Deku. She always saw happy Deku, and she only saw Deku kind of mad just right then and there. But she didn't know that Deku can actually become this mad. Like I said, Deku has hatred now. His hatred for what the villains did and what nobody did, that's what makes him mad. And Zeus is right there, saying, well, his last couple of words, he says, "Go destroy evil, child. Become my champion." That's all he heard. And he's ready for action. Which he doesn't have the suit, but his body is much more faster, and he's like through a phase. It's like having a phase where he's shifting out of his his body. Not saying he's coming out of his body or anything like that, but his body is like phasing through stuff because he still had the freaking thing stuck in the sharp part of the accelerator still was inside of him, but then he like phased through it. And Deku sees everything. And by that, blam. The guy, one of the mercenaries shot him. But he didn't see Deku at all. Deku was right beside him. And he grabs his gun and yanks it out of his hand. Hold on. He yanks it out of his hand, which the guy had a full good grip of it. So the moment he yanked out of his hand, his fingers were gone. And the guy screams in and says, "You're dead, kid." Because these, like I said before, mercenaries, they're, even though they have body parts taken away from them, they're still gonna fight back, and they're not gonna have too much emotion about it. But it's a what if. So anyway, he runs around him, and he pushes him. But a push in super speed means that he flew across and to the wall. And one of the guys was about to say, if you don't stop, I'm gonna shoot this kid. Which, let's say, is just some random kid. And Deku looks at him, and if you guys don't know this, speedsters, they have enhanced senses like tasting, hearing, smelling, and all that, because they're running at super speeds, and having these enhanced forms make sure that enhanced senses make sure that they're not missing anything while they run. So he runs to him and pushes him as well. But the guy who's still holding Nita and choking him, or he doesn't realize that he's still choking him, Deku sees this and he's mad, and he runs to him and punches him in the gut, which pierces through the man. And he phases through it afterwards and lets go, or pulls back his hand, and he sees a hole. And Deku is still mad. And Ingenium is now there because he's beaten up a lot of people. He's kind of like banged up, but still he's alive. He's alive and all that. And Deku is right there, walking to the man who shot him. And he grabs him and slams him through the wall again with super speed. Which I understand he's 8 and all that, but now he has strength. And this is enough to pull a man with ease. So he throws him to one side of the wall. Not only that, he grabs his leg and throws him again. And again, and again, and again. Until the walls now are broken. And now he grabs him and slams him to the table. And Bakugo sees this and he looks at him and he thinks he's a villain. Even though he's a hero, technically, he's already destroyed a man's hand because it's been cut off in a way. His fingers and all that. Not only that, his freaking eyes are changed. He has electricity. But his anger, when he was looking at freaking Deku's face as well, he sees all this. And now Deku is technically like mad. Or Bakugo thinks that he's technically now a villain. But he's too scared to say anything. And Deku is right there, grabbing him. Or not grabbing Bakugo, but grabbing the villain. And choking him. And Ida doesn't know what to do, but she grabs him and she smacks him in the face. And she says, "Deku, snap out of it. Are you okay?" And Deku is surprisingly already he snapped out of it, but he looks at Ida, and he sees that. Hold on, how much time has it been? 7, 8, 9. Okay, anyway. Oh wow, that much? Anyway. Deku sees that, what he's done. But he's not very, like, super shocked and all that. Because he knew what he did. And he's kind of disappointed in himself. This isn't what a villain would do. And his super speed and all that just stopped. He somewhat knows how it works in a way. Even though he doesn't know it, he feels it. And yeah, right off the bat, he technically does have a lot of control, like somewhat 100% control of his super speed, but he doesn't know like all the techniques he can do yet. And the phasing through objects, that's technically like there because his body does it by instinct. So he doesn't know all this. He just knows how to control his speed and how not to just automatically like hit anybody. And his strength is there, and it's like dormant right now. Oh, wait a minute. What if he had Zenitsu's quirk? Or Zenitsu's... You know what? I might think that Oh, this is actually I'm having a lot of ideas right now. But anyway. Yeah, I might do Zenitsu's as well. What if Deku had Dormant Awakening? Or something like that? A dormant thing? Thunder breathing first form. Wow. Anyway, never mind. So, Deku is there and he's calmed down. And Ingenium sees what's happened. He doesn't see it technically. He sees a bunch of villains everywhere. He sees Deku and Ida. He sees that Deku is right there holding her, and Ida has bandages. Or not bandages, oh, I'm sorry. Ida has like scratches and scars on her because she picked up some of the freaking glass as well, and the guy technically punched Ida, not full force, but just punched her like to make sure she to scare her a bit, and technically like it kind of like left a cut on her face and all this stuff. I don't know how to explain this all, but Ida sees what all happened, and she is scared, but she's like thinking to herself, this isn't the time to get scared. This is Deku here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The cops are called because the guy with the jamming signal just ran away. Well, like a few villains did run away because Ingenium was beating all of them. So that's why he got there earlier. If not, then yeah, that would have been the case. Even if he let's just say, even if he like had to still like was there a couple minutes ago, even though he was like not gonna be there 10 minutes, those 10 minutes wouldn't matter because all that would have happened was just nothing, really. The students would have had all their things, like, how do I say? Oh man, they everybody tied up would have just like been like let go or untied, which Deku does like know what he's going to do. He runs up to everybody, untying them all, and yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of the kids are crying because that's what. Yeah, because you're a kid, and a group of bad guys just came around and started doing a lot of stuff. A kid got shot, and all of them are crying, except for probably Bakugo and all that. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it off here. And if you guys didn't care about this, and tell me what you guys think. This is my first time doing something about the DC universe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys. Hold on, wait. No, you can't actually see through the mobile thingy. Alright, catch you guys later. Bye.